بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome guys. I am Dr. Asma Mahmoud Bakr. We are studying human rights. It's important and easy subject at the same time. Now let's get started. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Now I will talk about the second chapter in the subject of human rights and anti-corruption entitled Corruption. Chapter 2 consists four topics. The first topic, the concept of corruption. The second topic, types and forms of corruption. The third topic, the causes of corruption. The fourth topic, the impact of corruption on human rights and development. Now I will explain to you the definition of corruption from multi-perspective. The definition of sociologists and the World Bank definition. Also, the definition of corruption from several angles. Give me your attention. The corruption in language is something spoiled and decayed. That's meaning something rotten and rotten. The corruption in the legal dictionary meaning corrupted and became bad. Meaning spoiled. Or something spoiled. We will find the sociologists see corruption as a social relationship represented in violation of the rules of social behavior in relation to public interest, and therefore a violation of its value and the values of the society against which this behavior is practiced. Revealing the definition of corruption. Corruption is abuse of power by someone who has influence in deciding on a ban on corruption. That is, corruption occurs when the public servant wastes public money in improper ways and commits this as committing a crime punishable by law. The World Bank shortened corruption in exploiting public office for private gain. Transparency International defined corruption as a misuse of power, influence, and public office for personal gain or private interests, that is, the public official's exploitation of his position for the sake of achieving a personal interest for himself or others. Transparency International defined the corruption as the private sector alongside the public sector. Transparency International is an international non-governmental organization concerned with corruption, which includes political and other types of corruption. It is internationally famous for its annual corruption index report, which is a comparison list of countries in terms of the prevalence of corruption around the world. Its headquarters are located in Berlin and Germany. In Germany. This organization, for reference only, Transparency International defines corruption as the private sector alongside the public sector. Transparency International, it is an international non-governmental organization concerned with cooperation, which includes political and other types of corruption. It is internationally famous for its annual corruption index report, which is a comparison list of countries in terms of the prevalence of corruption around the world. Its headquarters are located in Berlin. Its headquarters are located in Berlin, in Germany. This organization, for reference only. If you know about it, can you visit its website? Please, just for 10 minutes, give me your attention. Corruption classification is classified from several angles, including big corruption, a little corruption, and political corruption. Also, we find moral corruption. The corruption is its job exploitation the public. The concept of corruption summary. Corruption is considered an act against the law, act against the moral value, the corruption is based on abuse of public office or the power. The corruption is a subjective behavior that reflects negatively on the public interest. We move to the second topic, types and forms of corruption. There are 4 types and forms of corruption: financial corruption, moral corruption, administrative corruption, political corruption. We will take 2 of types of corruption: the financial corruption and administrative corruption. First, financial corruption. Number 1, illicit enrichment, that's meaning illegal earning. Number 2, bribery. Number 3, embezzlement of public money. 4, wasting public money. 5, money laundering. One of the financial corruption is embezzlement of public money. It is defined as embezzlement of employee intentionally in his favor, such as embezzlement of public or private property. First, administrative corruption. 1, abusive power means exploits the functional influence. 2, laxity in doing the job. 3, favoritism and clientelism and nepotism. Favoritism. Wasta is called in Egypt and Arab countries. Wasta or favoritism is the intervention for the benefit of an individual or group without committing it to the principle of work and competence, such as appointing a person appointed for reasons related to kinship. Clientelism is the implementation of action for the benefit of individual or entity as a party or family without right. Please give me your attention, please. The third topic, the causes of corruption. This is important point. The reason behind the emergence of the phenomenon of corruption. 1, weak rule of law. 2, weakness of the judiciary. 3, weak will and censored attention of the political leadership to combat corruption. 4, weakness and lack of credibility of state supervision apparatus. 5, government intervention in economic market. 6, not avoid conflicts of interest. 7, the weak role of civil society institution in public life and institutions specialized in fighting corruption or working to raise awareness of the importance of combating it. 8, increasing opportunities for corruption to spread in countries in transition. 9, the spread of ignorance with oppressive culture. 10, the low level of government employees' wages and the high standard of living. 11, deficiencies in organizational structure in government agencies. 12, weak internal control over devices. The fourth topic, the impact of corruption on human rights and development. The corruption has serious impact on areas of life such as legal and political and economic and social fields. If you want, you can read about legal implications and political implications and economic effects and social implications. Chapter 3 talk about anti-corruption. The point it is very important in this chapter. It includes International Convention Against Corruption, and it is 3 international convention. 1. United Nations Convention Against Corruption. The United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, is a multilateral agreement negotiated by member states of the United Nations. This convention is the first document in the fight against international corruption that is legally binding. 2. The African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption. The African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption was adopted in 2002 and it entered into force in 2003. 3. Arab Convention Against Corruption. The rule of the Arab Agreement is to act as a wall against corruption, which will positively affect human development. This lecture is the last lecture. I wish you good luck and success. If you studied the 3 lectures, you could pass the exam easily. If you studied the 3 lectures, you could pass the exam easily. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.